Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball. It's week 54 of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This is an off-season special after UNLV just won the NCAA tournament and we made it to the Sweet 16 for the first time ever. Now, I just lost one of my assistant coaches, John Jefferson, who is now going to be the head coach at Brooklyn. So I will actually have a vacancy to fill in the staff hiring, and that's where we'll head now. Let's actually first, hold on. Let's check our staff and see which position it is. We lost our first assistant. And we've got an okay defensive guy, offensive guy, player development 27. It's possible I could promote Anthony Smith, but let's see what we're going to get available here. Player development, we got a 34. This guy's a bit more balanced. And actually, Ted Hanna is even better. Here's a reputation of 17 here. What do you have? Player development 26. You got reputation, but you don't have much else. Let's see, who's the best offensive coach? A 33. This guy's terrible at everything else, so all he's good at is coaching offense. This guy's a little bit better. This one's a little more balanced. This could be our best guy. Dupree. Or we lose 2 to gain 6, but that's recruiting. I don't need him to recruit. Okay, I think we're going to go for Mark Dupree. His ambition is pretty high, though. And his salary range is a little bit higher. I think we might start with a $30,000 offer. And let's go for a 4-year deal. So we'll make that offer, and let's go ahead and run offers. Let's see, what did we get? Anything? I don't see Mark Dupree on there, so he did not sign as of yet. Yep, he's still there, still available, so he did not take our $30,000 a year deal. Let's go for $34,000, and we will try the same deal. Mark Dupree takes the job. Okay. All right, so we got our guy. Boy, I almost could have or should have taken Anthony Smith. And actually the salary difference too. So okay, so that takes care of the staff. Let's go ahead and get out of that. That'll take a little bit to get through, but that does get us a decent coach. back on staff. Here's one of our big moments of meeting with the board. A chance to ask for something. Our facilities and budget have both been improved in recent years. The facilities is, I think, a B plus now. Oh no, facilities is a B, so we still have room for improvement. And in terms of budget, our budget has gone up, but at $145,000, and with $101,000 for assistant coaches, we only have $25,000 left to spend. So, wow, that's from last year. So, we've got a decent amount of money. So maybe I want to go for facilities again. We did get a budget increase this last time of about $7,000. So let's go for the facilities.
You have new mail.
It's probably a no because it has been upgraded. Yeah, request denied. Maybe we'll try for money next year. So end of season. So while this is going through its save, upgrade, update players, blah blah blah, preparing for the new season, so in my ear I'm listening to music right now, and I always do that. You're not hearing what I'm hearing because you post something to YouTube and it picks that up and it doesn't take that. So Travis Snow, there you go, was third in the league at 16 points a game. I haven't had a player in the top 5, I think, ever, or maybe only once. Travis Snow was leading on assists. We were just outside of the range here on rebounds. Actually, a little more out of the range. Anderson leading the way in steals, so that was good. He was Defensive Player of the Year, by the way, while Player of the Year in the entire league was Snow. And I was Coach of the Year, and Snow was first team all-conference. But anyway, so I'm always listening to music, but YouTube doesn't allow you to add that to your videos. That's why you're not hearing what I'm hearing. But listening to some humorous music from the early 90s from Bloodhound Gang at the moment. It's highly inappropriate if you're underage. I'm not telling you to go listen to this, but if you haven't heard Bloodhound Gang in a while, if you're in my age range, which I know a lot of my viewers are, and it's been a while since you've listened to any Bloodhound Gang, go do so. It's worth a good laugh. Especially when, one of a few songs. Alright, so scouting reports, our scheduling notice, the basketball budget, all of that stuff is coming up. And, I have 0 scholarships open for next year. I had 2 seniors. Travis Snow was one of them. So I have no scholarships. Wow. Do I really have no seniors? I've got 2. They're both walk-ons. Mike Sims and Norville are the only seniors I have. Okay then. I have 4 juniors, so I will have 4 scholarships the following year. And that's if I don't redshirt Hearns or Waltman. I'm going to have a few available 2 available redshirts, and it could go different ways. Like Milton could be redshirted. Hearns or Waltman could be redshirted to cut that down to 3 scholarships the following year. Entirely possible. I'm not going to look at ratings yet. How are we doing on GPA, though? Eisenhower, right at the end of the season, off camera, I sent Eisenhower on, Waltman. Gave them a tutor. It helped Waltman. He climbed, but these guys have dipped. I'm not worried about Norville, but Milton and Eisenhower, we'll keep an eye on them. I can't do anything now. It's May. They're out of school at the moment. But no reports to buy, so let's just go ahead and advance.
You have new mail.
Hopefully the transfers. Nobody. Okay, good. So we'll skip sessions.
You have new mail. 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 You have new mail.
Okay. Why don't we do a delete all? There we go. Clean that up. Summer travel. We're not traveling. No reason to scout anybody. No scholarships.
You have new mail.
Okay, 2035 Pro Draft. Remember, I've only ever had one player drafted, and he was a one and done. First player taken is from UConn. And there you go. Travis Snow makes it into the late first round. So that's my first 4-year player to go in the draft. 27th overall, Travis Snow is taken. And there you go. So good for him. And recruiting begins, but I have none of that to do.
You have new mail.
So we're going to have a bit of time to push past here quickly. We're going to take a few quick stops to look at some team history and whatnot.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
Let's get through a few weeks here of
you have new mail.
Recruiting and summer camps.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take our first glance at some records. This is single game field goals made, and amazingly, a certain player who just got drafted is nowhere near this list. I've had 352 wins, by the way, but let's look at some career marks, because those are really the ones that matter. So, Travis Snow ended his career with 398 field goals made, 2 shy of 400, and is 8th on the all-time list. Field goals attempted, also 8th place there, a little shy of 1,000. Free throws made. Travis Snow was 13th on that list, just over 200. Attempts, McCamey right there at the top. 3-pointers. Snow was 8th on that list as well. Seventh on attempts. Okay, field goal percentage. I've only had 13 guys with enough attempts to even make it onto this career list. And in terms of years, here's Travis Snow, 2034. McCamey, who just retired the year before, 2033, went to the top of quite a few lists. And then Forney, from a couple years back, as well as Wise from a couple years back. So I've got 4 guys in the last 3 years that have made it onto these career lists. But free throw percentage, only 2 have ever had enough attempts to make that list. 3-point percentage had 7. The 8th guy was Snow, who just missed out making it onto this list. points all-time. David Wise, leading scorer, just shy of 1,500, just 3 points ahead of Winston McCamey. So these two post players in the last 2 years have been right there. Teddy Hazelton and Erskine in recent years themselves. So a lot of our all-time leaders offensively have been recent recruits, which makes perfect sense as I've been cracking the top 100 just in these last handful of years as we've become a big-time recruiter. The oldest one dating back is Michael Morrissey back in 2020. Snow is 9th on the list, by the way. And in assists, the highest shooting guard on the list, those guys were all point guards. Travis Snow in 4th. Rebounds, Charles George, our all-time leader. Courtney Perry, up for him, tied for 2nd all-time in rebounds. And Perry was a guard, I believe. Steals, Perry's 2nd, Charles George on top there. I often have a lot of post players that make this list. Blocks, George on top. Double doubles, Travis Snow, 2nd on the all-time list behind Courtney Perry in double doubles with 7. Both of those guys from the last 2 years have really taken over on that list. I've only ever had one triple double, and it was Travis Snow this past year. I don't know which game that was in though. Career games, Earl Hazelton led that stat. Quite a few guys right behind him. Okay, quick look at team history as we move up to Conference I. We've got lots and lots of teams that we've only played a couple times now. In fact, there's not one team left on the list that we've played more than twice. So, Washington, D.C. was promoted with us. Valparaiso was promoted with us. We've played Wright State a couple of times. Let's see, who's the other one that got promoted with us? Cal. Oh, there you go. And we lost both times that we played them last year. Or all time. So some 2034 stats. We got Travis Snow, all conference first team. I got coach of the year. Anderson got player. Defensive player of the year. Player of the year for Travis Snow. Plus our 2 top recruits this year. So some big stats. 24-10, a final record on the year. So you can see this is actually one of the worst records that I've had in recent years. We weren't ranked, but we got to the round of 16 for the very first time. And that's 4 straight years that we've made it into the NCAA tournament. And prestige tracking. Let's see how this one now looks. Ooh, quite the jump from last year. Last year's 19 was the highest we've been. It looks like we're at a 24 now. Yeah, nice jump in team prestige, now up to 24. After reaching the round of 16.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
Oh, again. That is actually the second time in the last season. Let's get that loaded back up. We'll just keep things going along here. It should have just been saved. Well, then actually there's a backup right there. Let's go ahead and call on that backup and see. In terms of losses, there shouldn't actually be anything lost because of the recruiting is where we were at. Yeah, it's July.
You have new mail.
So nothing actually lost
You
there,
have new
just
mail.
a little bit of recruiting, which of course that's everybody
You have new
else's
mail.
recruiting and not ours.
You have new mail.
We were
You have new
into
mail.
August. Actually,
You have
I
new
think
mail.
it was late August too.
You have new mail.
Slow things down for a moment here. Go.
You have new mail.
All right. Preseason favorites for Player of the Year, UConn going top on this one. And do I have anybody on the list? I didn't have anyone on the list this last year, so that was awesome. And we were able to get Travis Snow drafted. Alright, so it's already late August. Let's go back and take a look now at the info. So again, Team Prestige up to 24. We are now into Conference I, which is League 9 out of 23. We started in League 23. So what a job we have done. And finally, we've got something here outside of the tournament appearances, which was actually our 9th now. So we've had 7 conference championships. We've had 2 tournament bids outside of the automatics. We've got 424 wins all time, but not all of those are credited to me. Some of those are school history otherwise. Back on the history here is where we get into what I've done. 352 wins, 204 losses, a 63% win percentage. We've made 14 postseasons, but we have 0 championships so far. That's NCAA championships. But again, we've got 7 conference championships now. The existing stats had the all-time records. I believe it had 1 CBI and 1 CIT bid, or something along those lines. Otherwise, all of these stats, outside of I think 2 conference bids, are since I edited the team at the start of this playthrough. And into September, so we are just about to the start of the season now. Closing in anyway. Take a glance at our strategy. This is what we've been using for a long time now. So we've got 30% motion offense, 40% shuffle offense, and 30% Princeton offense. And so the motion offense, basic offensive set, requires movement by players without the ball, but keeps the primary post players around the lane while allowing the guards and small forward to roam the outside or cut to the basket. So a standard motion offense. The shuffle offense is a continuous movement offense that really attempts to push the ball into the low and high posts through a series of quick cuts, passes, and ball reversal. Works best with guards who are comfortable in the posts. Finally, the Princeton offense attempts to get as many layups and easy shots as possible through a series of backdoor basket cuts. Good passing center is crucial to the success of this offense, as well as trained players making good cuts. And our offensive sets is just 30%. Our transition offense is 70% as we go for quick ones. And our offensive focus is to favor the outside play. Our defensive strategy, 65% man-to-man and 35% in a 1-2-2 zone. And that central play is why we get so many blocks from our center, by the way. And our pressure defense is full court man-to-man 100% of the time. Coach assignments, practice, recruiting, scouting. It actually doesn't allow me to change that anyway. And then our practice plan. We use a bit of extra time practicing shuffle that we use a little bit more. Our zone attacks are minimal. While defensively, we practice that pressure defense a lot. And then the man-to-man and the 1-2-2 zone a bit.
You have new mail.
Okay, so on to scheduling. Of course, I never change this one. I always let it be what it is. We've got the Sunshine Shootout versus Texas Christian, our rematch from last season. We've got Texas State. Oh no, Texas State is the rerun. We've got an invite to a tournament. We've got an invite to an early season tournament. That's new. This is the first time that's ever happened. And then our rematch against Conference L, Texas State. Okay. Texas Christian is Conference F, where we just played in the tournament against Cal in the first round, and whoever that was in the second round that we played, both of them from Conference F. So we've got Presbyterian of Conference T at home. Northern Colorado on the road, and their Conference Q. Hartford, Conference V at home. Elon, Conference Q at home. We've got a more favorable schedule than we've had in a long time. Indiana State on the road, Conference G. That's going to be a tough game. But Texas State at home. Texas Christian. Should be neutral territory in that one, I would assume. Portland State on the road, but they're Conference T. Olean, that's going to be a tough one. Conference J on the road. Charleston on the road. Conference L. Villanova at home. Wow, big matchup with Villanova there. They will almost certainly be ranked. They are in Conference D. They have very, very high prestige. So we've got a more favorable schedule this season, at least.
You have new mail.
And now we are going to begin practice. It's also late enough, October. I could probably start talking to players about grades if need be. So speaking of, let's check in on the GPA of these guys. We've got really just the one in trouble, but Milton, yeah, maybe. So we'll talk to Eisenhower, give him a call. Let's tell him to study more for the next month. And we're going to have him get a tutor as well. Okay, Milton. We're going to give him a call as 3.5 of 4 stars. Nice. Very nice. Okay, let's tell you to study more for a month. But I'm not going to get you a tutor at this point. Okay, let's run practice. Okay, and for the first time, let's take a look at our ratings and let's see how we're looking for this season. Chris Monroe, the true freshman, comes in as a 4-star player. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Scoring's at 34, passing 27, handling's at 39. Those could be a bit higher. Defense is a 36. Athleticism's an 81. He doesn't look that great, except for that he can shoot inside or outside and shoots free throws really well. But I think it's that scoring of 34. That's got to be what has him up so high. But Milton, who we just saw, the true sophomore who barely played last season. Let's see, what kind of... I have anything from last year. So he played in just 11 games, 3 minutes per game, averaged just 2 points per game when he came in. But he shot free throws well. Yeah, he put in almost nothing last year. And now he's 3.5 stars. One thing, though, that I'm seeing is I'm not doing that well in terms of depth. Fitz is 3.5 stars. But then I've got Waltman at 2.5. I've got Steele at 2.5. And Moore at just 2 stars. I have a lot of depth at small forward with Sean Swift, who has kind of dropped to 3rd on the depth chart in his position, and Hearns is at 2 stars. So I do have depth overall, but I don't have a lot of depth in the starting squad. Lewis is 1.5. Eisenhower is 1.5. So he didn't improve at all from last season. Jenkins is 1.5. So he's stumbled a bit this year. Petty is 1. And then our walk-ons. Now going back to roster. These are both walk-ons, so I can't. Redshirting them does no good. Waltman or Hearns. Would like to see one of them redshirted, so I only have 3 scholarships coming up. Waltman or Hearns. Let's see, where are they at? Waltman's 2.5 stars. Hearns is 2 stars. But both of them are... Like, Swift would be 1. Is Swift already... Has he already redshirted? He has. Monroe and Lewis are my 2 freshmen. And Monroe is our best player, so there's no way that he is going to redshirt. Now, Lewis, meanwhile, though, 1.5 of 4.5 stars. So there you go. Lewis is going to redshirt. Because Petty is not much behind him, and you got Fitz to start. So we sorted out one red shirt. Let's see, the sophomores. We got Milton, Steele, Moore, or Jenkins. Milton, Steele, Moore, or Jenkins. Milton. Here's Jenkins. Now, with all that depth at small forward, somebody could play shooting guard. Milton's too good to leave out. Steele, starting power forward. Moore, starting point guard. So Jenkins could, but he's apparently 1.5 stars of 1.5 stars and isn't really going to improve very much, or so it seems. So it looks like we're just going to redshirt one player. Alright, well, let's start to get our depth chart taken care of then for the season. Okay, so Lewis is redshirting. And Petty should be above Norville, except for he's not. Norville is pretty good for a walk-on. Here's Steele. Let's see. Eisenhower needs to come down the list a bit. Oops. That was not what I was trying to do. Let's get back down here. Let's get Steele. Eisenhower. Milton needs to go up the list. There you go. Okay, so 2 stars. Now, how are we looking? Jenkins. Jenkins is the starter. That's not good. Moore should be the starter. He was the starter last year, and he's got the most room for improvement. Waltman right now is the shooting guard, but Milton is going to be a better option than Waltman. Let's see how much better is he. So a little bit better. Defense is the same. Sean Swift is set right now. We need to get Swift out of there. Oops. For Steele. Oh. Again, I'm looking at potentially switching Milton and Waltman. He's a little bit better, but not a ton. So we're going to switch Milton and Swift. And then Swift needs to drop down a bit here. Oops. Ooh, no, we'll put him above Jenkins. Jenkins in that 1.5 star thing. Alright, now, in terms of quality, Monroe's our guy, so Monroe can stay on for a good while, so can Fitz. And so can Milton. Eisenhower's not going to stay on long. Yeah, and walk-ons just naturally don't get long either. Okay, there's our depth chart. Now, Milton, with your quality, I want you to also play shooting guard. But what about power forward? What's your size? 6'6", 234? Okay, so Milton's going to get some minutes elsewhere. Oh, Petty at 6'10" is our biggest player. I might not want him to be so far down the depth chart. But he's going to back up Fitz, and Fitz is going to get tons of minutes here, so I'm going to even go down to 60 there. Fitz is going to play a lot.
You have new mail.
Okay, into November. Just about time for our first game, and we might get the season underway here. That's on how much I need to do with the rotation. Presbyterian Conference T, Northern Colorado's Conference Q. So I like our chances here to start the season. I took care of that. Let's take a look at the rotation. Waltman's getting 30 minutes. Seems a little high. Swift. Oh, no, I need to change this. Just the sub-matrix. There we go. Okay, so Waltman, 30 minutes. Swift, now it's at 10. That's where he belongs. Fitz is at 32. We might need to change that up even more. Let's see, we've got Eisenhower playing. It's all Eisenhower, and why don't we take Eisenhower down a notch? There you go. So it's 34 now. Let's see. Who's our guy? Milton is only 14 minutes, so I want Milton to have a bit more than that. Chris Monroe's got 32 minutes. We can up that a little bit. Even though it's going to hurt Milton. Let's go here for Monroe. 34. I like that. But Milton's going to need some more minutes in another position. But let's first figure out who... Is it Steele? Yeah, Steele does not need 30 minutes. So we can give a couple minutes to Eisenhower, who's on just 6. Do I want Swift there? No, I do not. So we'll go Eisenhower. And we can do that once more. Let's give him 10. Ugh, yeah. Oh, no, you guys switch back. That's fine there. Okay, there's 10 for Eisenhower. But I want... How much does Swift... Okay, 6 is good. Monroe, 34. Milton's at 12. I want a little bit more from Milton. And we can take it from Swift. Oh, there you go again. Swift is already... I don't want to take it. Yeah, shooting guard's fine. Waltman. Let's take it off Waltman. 14. Go here. Go. 16. 2 more minutes for Milton. 18. That brings Waltman down to 24. That's more realistic now. Jenkins just 4 minutes a game. Petty, nothing scheduled. Hearns is at 10. Moore's at 30. That might be a slightly high, but... Steele. Sims. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
You have new mail.
And we're all set for the season to get underway. So let's get things going. It is that time where I should be wrapping up the episode. We'll get one game in and maybe we'll sim 2 real quick. Let's see, one more day till our first game against Presbyterian. We'll have to go speed 10 style. Alright, so new season underway. We are definitely going to miss Travis Snow, but Chris Monroe comes in, true freshman, as a new leader for us. He opens up his career 0 for 5. He does get a 3 and a few free throws after that to help get him going a little bit as he makes his way to the bench for the first time, and Milton comes in strong. Rebounds, big margin. Turnovers, big margin favoring us. We are up by a pretty decent clip. If Monroe was playing a little bit better, we'd be up by a lot more. Freshman, maybe a little nervous. Brian Steele's got 10 points in this one. 13 points now. 5 of 5 shooting. Jenkins is 4 of 5 shooting. Or is that 3 of 4? I think I switched over players there real quick. Second half, big lead. So we are cruising on this one. We are definitely leading things statistically. But we're just not shooting the ball terribly well. We're at least 6 of 14 beyond the arc, while they are 2 of 14. That makes a difference. 21-point lead here with 12 to play. Milton, good day for him. Steele, big day for him. 20 points, 8 of 9 shooting, 6 boards to go with it. And Steele just keeps racking it up. 10 of 11 and 25 points now. And Milton also having a big day. But Monroe, just 6 points on 1 of 10 shooting. What is going on? Freshman is struggling. Moore's got 10 and 8 assists. Waltman also, terrible day. So Waltman and Monroe have a terrible day. That is the only reason why we didn't win by about 40. But we open our season with a win. That's what matters. But we'll need more from Monroe, especially. Yes, he should be our guy. Steele had 27 points. Moore had 9 assists. Fitz had 9 boards, so big day on that one. Let's finish off the win. So we are at Northern Colorado for this next game, but we've got a clear gap between us and them conference-wise. That even though we are on the road, we should be slight favorites for this game. Maybe 60-40 chance. And we do pick up the win, so we go to 2-0 to open the season. That's all the time we have for this episode, so that's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best.
You have new mail.
So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next... Ooh, wow, 1 point lead. Tune in next time on my road to the record. And come from behind. Monroe, 24 points in his second game, 7 of 15 shooting. There's the big performance we needed from him. Second time out. Steele, another good game. Bye for now.